All right, family. We live with the general. Y'all already know what time it is, man. Came back making noise. We back here to make some noise tonight, family. You know what time it is. That's right, Black Power. Make sure you click that link at the top of the chat. Get on over there to Patreon. I don't know what you're waiting on. Don't wait no longer. Wait till after the presentation, right? You feel me? Don't just up and get up off of here right now. I know you're eager. But anyway, from the Nile to Mesoamerica, Olmec, Egyptian, and Ethiopian similarities. We got to bring, because we got a lot of preachers out here today. They preaching, they ain't got no factual information on Black Power to all the family. They ain't got no factual information about ancient culture, nothing. These niggas might well have comic books and shit, you know what I'm saying? Comic book theories but we here today to bring nothing but the fire. You feel what I'm saying? So let's jump right on into it. I like to jump right on into it. Yeah. How sound out there, family? If the general popping out there, let me know. Drop some Black Power in the chat. Let me know how I sound out there now. Let me know. Okay. Let me know how to sound. Is the mic nice? You feel me? All right. Black Pop. That's right. We're in the house. We're in the house. Okay. So we're looking at the similarities between, and we could do more, but we just gonna deal with these three powerful Kushite Kemetic civilization, old Mecca, and we're gonna look at the striking similarities. Okay, we're not just talking; we're talking about striking similarities that cannot be disputed by nobody. Okay, when the general come up here and I let people know, this is going to be my 20th year doing the Olmec, studies. So I ain't just got on this; I've been on it. Okay, I've been doing this lecture for over, and profoundly, it still rings true. Everything that has been researched, it cannot be refuted. Okay, now one of the great similarities between the Ethiopian, the Kemetic, Egyptian, the Olmec is number one, the pyramid. Okay, not just the pyramid. There's some striking similarities between Egyptian and Ethiopian and uh, uh, Olmeca that bring you to the understanding that this is not a coincidence. Now, a lot of people, now, matter of fact, but let me look at this, not just the pyramid, but what they call the stela. Okay, the stela, which is this stone slab you see right up under the Olmec head. Okay, megalithic skills in carving stone that not many civilizations could master. Okay, not many could master the technique and the mind-boggling ability to be able to cut in the stone like that, which with such precision. Okay, and then uh you have the stone sarcophagus, which they put the royalty down in. And and we're gonna look at, when you look at this, and then you come immediately and you look at ancient Egypt, you see and then we talk about the hieroglyph system too. Okay, so you see here the stela, huh? Above the Sphinx, the Horn Mackey, then you got the Great Pyramids, and then you got the stone sarcophagus. And so it is in Egypt where the stone sarcophagus reached its epitome. Matter of fact, majority of all ancient technology reached this epitome in uh uh in ancient Egypt. I'm not gonna lie to you though. Ancient India is very profound. I must say that. It's very profound, but it is not on par with ancient Egypt, and that's saying a lot. That's saying a lot. They got some very mind-boggling temples in ancient India. I've seen it for myself, and I do not hold back that what I saw, pushes India into, which it is a Kushite civilization. But it's right there. You feel me? It's right there. That's one of our great accomplishments on this planet, no doubt about it. And I'm gonna touch on some of that, as we move through the day. And so, as you come and you see the step pyramid, now the step pyramid of Saqqara, man, goes back almost 3,000 BC, and we using the Neanderthal chronology. Nobody in their right mind would believe that the Egyptians would be building on such a mind-boggling level to put the pyramid of Khufu, the Sneferu, the Red Pyramid, the Bent Pyramid. These are damn over 40-story structures. You know, you're talking about skyscrapers, and you're talking about with the mass that'll blow your damn mind. We couldn't even calculate the mass. You're talking about over 2 million stones on this pyramid, and the lightest stone is like maybe 3-4 tons, and then some of the heaviest go up to almost 100 tons. So this is mind-boggling. Okay, but so we know that Egypt wasn't just starting in the first dynasty. Egypt is the pinnacle of the ancient Kushite civilization, handed down for hundreds of thousands of years. Hundreds of thousands of years. And so when we discuss, the evolution of the pyramid, most definitely it is to be found in Africa. Only in Africa where you see the step pyramid and the true pyramid. Okay, both. You get the step pyramid and the true pyramid. Only in Africa did they reach the level of the true pyramid. Okay, so everybody else say that's they have pyramids. No, they don't. You see, if you know geometry, you know damn well what a pyramid is, what a triangle is. And so none of these would qualify except, and then they took the smooth sides off of the pyramid. And so, but it would be smooth, and, and the base, what we talking about, smooth sides that rise from its base up to a point. The 4 sides, and it's actually more sides than that on this pyramid. It's the shadows that's hiding that, is split down the middle. It's crazy, man, but it only show up during certain times of the day. I mean, the year. So it's actually split, so I think it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It might be 8 sides because they split down the middle. And that's crazy, but you can only see it during certain times of the year. And so let me put this, let me touch down. As we show, when we look at the level of accomplishment, the level of accomplishment, when you start talking about the tools that are used in the modern era to design skyscrapers and things, those tools come up out of ancient Egypt. You can't level that on to the left. And then we honor our Olmec ancestors. This is it's still magnificent. It's still mind-blowing. It's still one of the great civilizations of all time. And we have to study our Olmec ancestors because the wisdom is profound. And so, this was which caused me to study for all these years, have never ever retreated from the greatness of our ancestors over here, the Olmec. They were responsible for all these these great monuments of, and still, even, I mean, when you look at, this is a massive pyramid. This is a massive pyramid. Okay, I've been to this pyramid. This pyramid is massive. This is the pyramid of the sun. And I walked all the way up to the top. I think I went to the also to the pyramid of the moon, went up there as far as I could go. And I say, damn, this is the one thing about the pyramids in Mexico is that you have the ability, to go up, on the outside. Now in the pyramids of Africa, you can go in the inside. You can still go up now, but you on the outside, so the view from the top, and being able to look out is, amazing. You see, and so let me come down here and touch on these sarcophaguses. When you talk about this, the stone sarcophaguses, and here you got Pakal at the this is the temple of inscriptions, and this is what you call a Corbel vault. Now, what's crazy is that the pyramid of Meidum in the king's chamber also have a Corbel vault. That's mind blowing, that two pyramids. So when you talk about the intricate similarities that you're going to be buried in a pyramid. Now, let me show you this now. And I can just show you 5 and 6 intricate, Now imagine this now, that both of them got the L shape stairway, ascending, descending shafts inside of the pyramid of Khufu, inside of the pyramid of inscriptions of Pakal. And when you get inside, I mean, when you study where they put Pakal burial, his stone sarcophagus, when you look, you see down here in Khufu's pyramid, which is a subterranean tomb, or a cellar, or a room where the I believe would have been the original king's chamber. Because when you look at the earlier temples and the earlier mastabas, they had the same burial. And so when you where the stone sarcophagus would be placed, and that's right here. So when you look, you see that this is African technology. This ain't just, so how is we to believe that here you got step pyramids, and the exact place that they buried these, in the Americas, is in the very same exact place, L-shaped ascending, descending stairway shaft system. Okay. And so, and we come back and you see this is the same exact, and then you got a stone sarcophagus with hieroglyphs on it inside of a Corbel vault. We're in the house. Yeah. Okay. So you see right there. So you see the hieroglyph. Now the hieroglyph system in the Americas is Olmec. It came with the Olmec. Okay, so that's Olmecian. Okay, so now you see, now what's crazy, now I just did this. This is at Angkor Wat. This is also a Corbel. This is not a, but it is almost like a vault, but this is a Corbel arch. So, it's the way that they, lay the stone where it's not a true arch, but they, as they move up, they bring the stones in a little further. So, it gives the image of an arch, you see, but it's called a Corbel arch. And so this is at Angkor Wat. And so you see here, that now I can show you down here. I had it up there. Where is it? And I most definitely need to get it back up there. Here it is. Here it is. This is crazy. Where it go? I just had that in there. I don't know why. I don't know why. I just seen that. There you go, right there. See? So when you look right there, you see the Corbel vault inside the Meidum pyramid. You see, and you look, this is Pakal's tomb. So if they didn't open it up, but if you see it, it's the same exact vault that's inside of these pyramids, the one in Meidum and the one in Pakal. And this is where the sarcophagus would be put. This is not no damn coincidence. You got too many goddamn coincidences. And we talking about highly advanced. This ain't just like you can up and do some shit like this. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you can't just up and do no shit like this. So you got too many damn coincidences. We got to stop all these coincidences. Now you look at this. Matter of fact, let me see. This is Pakal's. This Pakal 2. So it was more than one Pakal. And then I had this too. Where did I put? Okay, where did I put them other sarcophagus? I found one in Africa, and man, it was exactly the same. I most definitely got to get in here and tighten this up. I put it in here just not too. Wait a minute, I think I just passed. Here you go. Here you go. Here you go. Now look at that. You see the slab at the top? You see the that's a sarcophagus up there. That's a sarcophagus up there. And you can see here in Africa, you can see the same design, you see, but this one right here is so, in alignment with that, the tomb. And, this is an African tradition. So anybody talking about, man, nigga, the Africans been over here. They the ones that laid the Egyptian civilization is the global blueprint for civilization. You know what I'm saying? Let's just deal with that. And that they took this civilization, the Egyptian Kushite civilization, with Kush being the great mother, is the blueprint of advanced civilization all over the earth, without any doubt. Okay, without any doubt. Now, what's crazy? Now, I was telling you about these. You see these what they call knobs. And a lot of people believe they use these knobs to lower the sarcophaguses, into, down and, into position. They use a lot of this for lifting and whatnot. And so how is it that you could come to the Americas and see these same knobs on the damn sarcophaguses? Man, y'all got to stop listening to these niggas. You know what I'm saying? These ain't no goddamn coincidence. This is a universal Kushite civilization. Do you hear what I'm telling you? This is a universal Kushite civilization. And we just getting started today, family. What I'm going to do is that I'm touching on a lot of things, and I'm going to come in and I'm going to come out. I don't want to pile all this science on one video. I want you to be able to get bits and pieces of it. So what I'm going to do, I'm just opening up today. I want you to come right back. I'm about to chop this up. And I'm gonna be right here, Black, in a minute. Make sure you get over there to Patreon, click that link, get over there, get that work, and I'll see you, Black, here in just a minute. Black Pop.